What's going on? Alan Dragoo here, and in today's video, I want to break down a sales letter that I personally wrote in collaboration with Daniel Throssell for his Adventures in Copyland issue number 33, where we talked about e-commerce emails Daniel Throssell style. So I actually wrote this sales letter for a product that he allowed me to sell to his list as a bonus level. I did get his feedback on some of the things in this sales letter, but overall, this is 98% my work, my approach. And so I'm about to actually show you a Loom video that I recorded to break down this sales letter to help you write better sales letters for yourself. That's the context. So enjoy the video. I hope it helps you a ton. And here we go.
Hey, what's going on? Alan Dragoo here, and in this video, I'm going to actually break down the Flow sales letter that I wrote in collaboration with Daniel Throssell, Adventures in Copyland issue number 33, where we did this big drop, and it was a great big success. It was a ton of fun, and I've had so many of my email subscribers asking me, like, did I actually write this? Was this Daniel? And so, yes, I did write this sales letter. I did get some feedback from Daniel, but overall, I wanted to walk through some of the concepts, the big idea, the structure that I approach when writing this sales letter. So that way you can take it when you write your next email, your next sales letter, and hopefully it's more profitable, more fun, and whatever it is. So I'm going to walk through. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's 22 pages. It's fun, but I'm going to give you kind of some of the big structures, some of the big elements to think through. Okay. So when writing this sales letter, before I ever put pen to paper, there were two things I really had to solve. The first thing is understanding the audience, and the audience being that, okay, who are we going to sell this to? We were going to sell this to Daniel's Adventures in Copyland subscribers, which are his most loyal, dedicated people, including myself. I'm an Adventures in Copyland subscriber. I've been on it for over a year. I've paid a lot of money to Daniel's Thrive Cart for lots of product of his. So I'm already in the mindset of the customer. I understand the sales letters that they like. I understand the verbiage and the tonality and the bombasticness that Daniel has. But it did drive me to go to, my phone. I opened up my Persuasive page on the phone, which is Daniel's app. And I went through his sales course where he has all his sales letters, Sales Academia or Academy, something like that. I forgot how he says it. But anywho, in that, he's got all his sales letters in there. So I went back and I read through Daniel's sales letters quite a few times so I can get my head in that writing style, okay, and in his bombasticness, in his storytelling manner, and try and understand why is he saying certain things that his audience is responding to. Obviously, this works in certain ways. So I did try and envelop myself in the Daniel Throssell style before writing this sales letter, which obviously is why so many people asked me. I must have had 10, 15 emails where people were like, did you write this? Did Daniel write this? I'll take it as a compliment. But it means I've gotten into the head of Daniel's audience perfectly. And that's the first thing you have to do, right? When writing a sales letter, you have to get in their world. You have to get in the prospect's world and write from their perspective. And I know that if I got in Daniel's sales letter world, I would get in his prospect's world because he's already written all kinds of letters like this for them. So I knew if I studied that, I would get in their world, no problem. And again, I'm part of the target audience. So it totally makes sense. So let me walk through some of the structural elements here.
Hey, I'm back. Listen, slight interruption. I have a gift for you. If you are enjoying this video, then go ahead and click the link in the description below to get my free Copywriting Catalyst Guide, 63 cash cow copywriting tips that you can read in 90 seconds each or less to help you put more cash in your pocket today writing copy. Some of the tips that I put in there are insanely valuable that I still use and have used for the last 4 or 5 years. So enjoy, go ahead and grab it. Okay, back to the video.
Actually, the second thing that I had to figure out was the big idea. The big idea is it goes back to David Ogilvy's never write a word on the paper if you don't have a big idea. And I pulled up a little article right here that's the David Ogilvy quote, which is basically he's the original big idea evangelist, where he's nothing works without a big idea. And a big idea is by answering these 5 questions. Did it make me gasp when I first saw it? Do I wish I had thought of it myself? Is it unique? Does it fit the strategy to perfection? And could it be used for 30 years, right? Yeah, slightly vague, right? Slightly vague, but taking this will kind of help you find a big idea in your writing. And so here's how I landed with the big idea. The big idea of this sales letter, okay, if you can't already tell, it says it in the first line. The world's first and only sales letter pleading you to don't spend a single dollar on, and then I walk through the insanely profitable, easy to use, ultimate no BS e-commerce email flows guide that has literally shoved a $32,182 commission check in my pocket. Okay. Here's the idea that I'm trying to convey right off the rip. This is an anti-sales letter. Okay. What I'm actually trying to do is convince you that this is not a sales letter at all. I'm actually asking you to not spend a single dollar. It's the opposite of a sales letter, okay? So when a sales letter, right, a sales letter could be a unique mechanism. It could be a story angle. It could be whatever the big idea ends up being. My big idea is that this is a sales letter that's not a sales letter at all, okay? And so when I thought of that, I hit it. Did it make me gasp when I was like, yeah, it did. Because I was like, oh, man, that's genius. A sales letter that isn't a sales letter at all. And it has to be really genuine, right? It can't just be like, oh, don't buy anything, reverse psychology. No, this was like 100% genuine. I'll tell you how I got there. Did I wish I had thought of it? Yes. If somebody had written that idea, I'd have been pissed that I hadn't written it. And then, is it unique? I've never seen it. You tell me if anybody else has seen it. I've never seen a genuine anti-sales letter, right? Everybody genuinely does want you to buy at the end, but I was not comfortable selling this product. And so it was very real. And I'll dive more into that. Does it fit the strategy to perfection? Yes, because sell by repel is going to make people want to buy more, even though I don't want them to buy, but we're selling a product. So I guess I should want them to buy, right? Like it does. It fits the strategy to perfection. Could it be used for 30 years? I don't know. That one, I don't know. Could it be used for 30? I bet it works. I bet this reverse psychology does work in 30 years. Okay. So that was my big idea. And the big idea came from the product that we were selling. The product we were selling is Klaviyo flows, handwritten templates, right? Like it's on a computer. Okay. It's there. It's not handwritten, but they're Klaviyo templates that I personally use for my clients in the e-com space. Okay. And so it's copy that I'm currently using to make a lot of money for myself from my clients. And so do I really want to like give away my copy and my templates that I'm currently using to make money for, $300 and I'm making thousands of dollars every month from my client? Do I really want to give that away? No, I was very uncomfortable selling this. I was like, you know what? No, I really make a lot of money doing this. And so I don't know if I want to sell this product. And that's where the idea came from, was like, I was already uncomfortable selling the product from the beginning. It was genuine. It was emotional. I didn't want to do it. But then like I had sat with it and I tell the story in this sales letter was like, the reason that I ended up doing it is because I'm a really big Daniel Throssell fan. It was a dream to be able to collaborate with him, all this stuff. I tell it in the sales letter, which is reason why copy, right? I have reason why copy in there. But anywho, that's the big idea. That's the big idea. If you nail target audience and big idea, 80% of the letter is written for you. So even though I just spent 7 minutes talking about the big idea and getting in the target audience's head, and I haven't like broke down a single word yet, you do that, you'll nail a sales letter 10 times more than anybody else will nail a sales letter. So that's what you actually need to know. Okay, so that's pretty much how I came with the headline, is the world's first and only sales letter pleading you to don't spend a single dollar on basically this is very Ben Settle style, huge red font, blah, blah, blah. The strike through. Okay, so that's the reverse psychology part. Somebody else asked me about this. Why did I strike this through? It's because I'm trying not to sell you, and I'm being funny that I am selling you on not selling you. So a strike through is like thoughts in my head that I didn't want you to hear, but I'm actually putting it as a comedy piece. So this insanely profitable and easy to use, that's the copywriter side trying to sell you, but I'm actually crossing that out because I'm not trying to sell you. That's why I did the strike through, right? Here's the product, Ultimate No BS E-commerce Email Flows Guide. It rolls right off the tongue, right? Like, listen, I had like a day to name this product. I didn't even know I was going to package it, so I just gave it the clearest name I could give it. that has literally shoved a $32,182 commission check in my pocket. So that's proof, right? That's proof. So proof and promise. It's not a promise because I don't actually promise that for you. But this is profitable and easy to use, right? Simplicity. That's the promise, is that it's profitable and easy to use. And then that's the proof, right? So you do want to have proof in your headline. Promise, proof, promise, proof. Great headline. Okay. This is just attention, and then this is promise proof, all right? This is very John Carlton style. You want to grab their attention, slippery slope, and then you want to make some sort of promise proof. That's why I like this, like, eyebrow copy, attention-grabbing headline, and then, like, it's good. This is called the deck. So the deck headline right here is the promise and proof, okay? And I kind of inject the product here as well, okay? So that's kind of the big way to set this up. This is a good setup, by the way. You could take this with anything. I love the little teasy eyebrow copy, headline, promise proof over here. It's gonna be really, really good. So the stronger your proof, the better, right? Keep the promise and proof thing in mind, that the bigger your promise, the bigger your proof has to be. And so my promise is not really big, okay? This insanely profitable and easy to use, that's not like a huge promise, but the proof is really huge. And that's kind of the kicker, right? The fact that the proof is really, really big, like a $32,000 commission check, that's pretty freaking big. At least to me. I know some of you guys may be, killing it more than that, but kudos to you. All right. So that's kind of the structure of the beginning. I did add a picture because it adds humanity. And statistically, links under pictures get clicked far more than just random links or buttons or anything like that. So I don't know why, but it is. I read it in tons of copywriting books. I've used it. I've tested it. It does work. So I added a picture because it's me. So Daniel's pitching me to his email list, and his email list is landing here. They might not know me by the time they click this. Maybe they didn't watch the videos or anything like that. So I wanted them to meet me and see that. I intentionally did pick a picture of me wearing an email player's hat from Ben Settle, because again, I'm looking for credibility and proof. These guys don't know me. These people don't know me. And so I'm looking for ways to inject proof in here. So you can't see it a ton, but it is a subtle nod, like, oh, Alan, this guy is wearing an email player's hat. Email players is Ben Settle. How did he get that? Right? Like, who is this guy? That he knows Ben Settle, that he knows Throssell, right? I'm trying to use social proof as much as possible to get them to trust me quickly, so that way they can read the sales letter. Okay, this is the link you should not click, right? Matches the headline, all this stuff. I did put this under here just simply because we were selling to a lot of people in different countries, different browsers, different internet things. So for whatever reason, Google was freaking out on us, or the click or anything like that, then people could like manually copy and paste this or type it in or whatever. I just wanted to overcome all bottlenecks and figured that out for my test. So classic salutation, dear copywriter, because it's a copywriter. This is where I do the intro. I'm not going to walk through this a ton, but this is where I do the intro, where I tell them that I genuinely, I'm not kidding. I don't want to sell you this product. Okay. And then I go into what is a fictional story. Okay. This is a fictional story where I'd say, well, Daniel texted me, what's an insanely valuable product that you could sell as a bonus level to this month's ventures in Copyland? That part is true. My instant response is easy, my flows template for e-com brands, but I'm not going to do that. This is where it gets fictional. Like, this is where I start morphing the story into what's not real. So why not? So many reasons. Okay, here's why I would not do it. And I say, and this is where I'm actually starting to anchor the value of the product. I write this as part of the conversation with me and Daniel, but what I'm actually doing is I'm anchoring you, the reader, to understand the value of the product. So you're reading it as my conversation with Daniel, but you're ingesting it as a copywriter, and I'm actually selling you here, right? So many reasons why I wouldn't do it. My agency charges $6,000 to $10,000 to set up these flows. Value. These flows take up 50 to 60% of my clients' total email revenue, which has them thinking I'm some sort of revenue angel sent from heaven. Value. Okay, just like tons of. I've personally paid off 2 cars with 1 commission check from these flows. That's that check up here. You're welcome, babe. My wife is so excited that these cars are paid off. And frankly, I have zero interest in selling them to any other copywriter until I've died or retired. Okay, now I'm further anchoring the story into why these are valuable, why they are rare, right? I'm creating urgency. I'm creating exclusivity. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. And then I carry on with the fictional story. Okay. I've never seen anybody do a fictional sales letter aside from the J. Abraham, I sat down at the piano, blah, blah, blah. And, but that's not like bombastic fictional. Daniel does the bombastic fictional. So I was like, what better way to do a Daniel sales letter than to do a bombastic fictional sales letter? So that's how I got the idea to do it fictional. But maybe you can't tell at this point that it's fictional, but it's about to become very obvious, right? Daniel texts me this, blah, blah, blah. He does the smirking thing, which is true to Daniel. He does do a lot of smirking things. Why is he smirking? I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking about it. And he says, what if you just wrote some bullets? And I said, no. I see where this is going. I don't want to sell them. I don't want to write bullets. This is all fictional. We're going back and forth. This is not real. This is me writing a sales letter in a fictional format. Okay. And then I say, and then he's asking me to write the bullets. Hey, I'll give you some free coaching if you write the bullets. Why is he still smirking? Okay, coaching from Daniel Throssell. Okay, for me, El Copy Goat, that's worth thousands of dollars. And with that kind of feedback, I could be elevated to El Copy Grandmaster. I could dethrone Daniel as Australia's #1 copywriter, right? That's like something he would say. So this is how he's convinced me to write bullets for a product I don't want to sell. Muhaha, I'm smirking. I like to add gifs. Let's make it fun. Let's break up the copy a little bit. Let's have some images. Well, how the turntables have turned, right? So now I think I'm tricking Daniel. The concept is that he thinks he's tricking me into selling my products. I'm tricking him into giving me coaching so that I could be a better copywriter. Okay, deal. I'll write these copies. Okay, and then that's my excuse to inject copywriting bullets in here. Okay, so my excuse to continue selling you, the reader, is that Daniel asked me to write bullets, and now I'm showing you the bullets that Daniel asked me to write. Okay, and so then I inject bullets. So now, as part of the fictional story, I'm putting these bullets in. Now the part that I probably might change in the future is I may put the bullets at the bottom instead of in the middle of the story. I don't know yet. Like, potentially people could skim over it. People might not skim over it. But either way, the bullets are really good. You should read over these. These are very, I'm not going to read over each bullet. Bullet itself is a mastery of sales letter in its own. But these are very like John Carlton, Ben Settle, Clayton Makepeace style bullets. Okay, these are like very direct response copywriting style bullets. So these are not necessarily like Daniel Throssell style bullets, because candidly, I'm not as like good at the bullets in his world. Like that's an art in itself that I knew if I attempted it, I didn't think I would nail it nearly as well. Like I knew I could nail the fictional thing, but I didn't want to half-ass try Daniel Throssell style bullets because those I didn't feel as confident on, to be honest. So I went with like some John Carlton, Ben Settle S, which Daniel has pulled a lot of influence from John Carlton and Ben Settle, so I knew it would still work. I knew it would work because he still has that influence in him, but it's probably not how he would have written these bullets, to be honest. So you can read through these bullets. I think they're absolutely slayful. Like, they are so good, to be honest. But, like, don't let me toot my own horn, okay? So, anywho, this is where it gets even more fictional, where it becomes way more obvious that this is clearly fictional, okay? So, to this point, you might not actually know that it's fiction. You're probably reading this, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. This is fun. But you probably didn't know it was fictional. This is where it becomes obviously fictional, right? And so I increased it, which is a skill set in its own. When starting a fictional story, you almost want to make it believable. You almost want to make it like, is this real? Is this not real? I think it's real, right? And then you can make a turning point. This is my turning point where it becomes obviously not real. All right, so I do the thing where I say, I text Daniel my bullets. What do you think, my man? Fantastic. Paris is on her way to collect the flows. Collect the flows? A knock on my door. It's Daniel's assistant, Paris. You flew here from Australia? I immediately bolt to my Lacy hard drive and pull it out from my computer. You're not getting my freaking flows, Paris. Go back to Paris. Oh, I don't mean to do it. So obviously it's fictional. Clearly she didn't just like automatically fly to my door. She's knocking on my door. I'm yelling at her, yield or I release the mega lines. Mega lines, not by my watch. I shove the Lacy drive in my jacket pocket and immediately bolt towards the back door. I use my 3rd degree black belt skills to fly in front, kick the back door. Bam! Right? At this point, I'm entertaining you. I'm just trying to suck you into the sales letter where I think this is just like absolutely genius, super smart, like, right? You're like slippery slope, right? and you're trying to think, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I kick down the door, you're not going to believe who's standing there awaiting my insanely badass arrival. None other than pre-newsletter guy, right? If you're in Daniel's world, you completely understand this. This is his character that he made. The guy standing in the back. I actually used ChatGPT. I screenshotted pre-newsletter guy, and I said, can you make me pre-newsletter guy laughing? So it's not like perfect pre-newsletter guy, but it's pretty freaking funny. He puts a gentle finger on his earpiece and whispers, package acquired, Master Throssell. Over my dead freaking body, you haven't acquired jack squat. Do you guys like how I narrate this? This is pretty funny. I bolt to the left and immediately, boom. Okay, here's another pitch. Somebody just popped in here? What? Yeah, let's buy this thing, bro. Actually, it's closed. You can't buy jack squat. So, boom. Next thing I know, okay, here's a transition scene. Check out this transition scene. I do have to say, this potentially might be one of the most genius things I've ever done in a sales letter. So the transition scene here is that I actually transitioned the scene into Daniel's parallel welcome sequence, which, by the way, if you are in Daniel's world, you understand that the parallel welcome sequence is like something he invented. It's like utterly famous to him. This parallel welcome sequence is like, has its own set of rave reviews and all kinds of stuff like that. So what I actually did was I actually put myself into the parallel welcome sequence. So I said, boom, next thing I know, gasp, I open my eyes, panting heavily. It's dark and I'm strapped to a chair. Okay, Daniel wrote this copy in his parallel welcome sequence. I copied it and added it to my sales letter as if I'm in the parallel welcome sequence that you're reading. Okay, so I tug on my right arm. It won't budge. Same for the left. My feet are stuck. I look around. The room is dimly lit. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And then this is where I shift the parallel welcome sequence into this moment. A lacy hard drive, my precious clavia flows, something about mega lions, and then tap, tap, tap. I freeze, blah, blah, blah. It's Throssell, right? So now I'm in the parallel sequence, but I've merged the two stories. Parallel welcome sequence, sales letter flows. I merged the two. So basically, I took one of the most famous stories he's ever told, and I injected it into my sales letter. That's pretty smart, right? ChatGPT, good luck thinking of that stuff. You can't think of that. You couldn't ever. I could have prompted a million things. You'd have never thought of that, but I thought of that. All right? All right. Now we're out of New Jersey. Let's go back to the sales letter. Nice bullets, he mutters. Bullets, my flows. What have you done with my flows? Ha, they're up for sale with an insanely tight deadline. Of course, I don't know why I'm doing this. So obviously, I'm anchoring that there's a tight deadline. I'm anchoring you that you should have some freaking urgency to buy these flows, right? So I'm anchoring that for sale. I told you this is how I make a living, and you're selling them. Not only am I selling them, you practically wrote the sales page for me with those amazing bullets. Having Daniel compliment me in a fictional world with my amazing bullets. Just more authority to me for absolutely no reason. I just wanted to hear that. And then I throw the gift. Dang it. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Take my flows. Take my livelihood. But I hope you sold them for thousands of dollars at least. I'm price anchoring. Because we're not selling them for thousands of dollars, but they are worth thousands of dollars. So I'm trying to price anchor you early so that way when you see the price, you're not as shocked. Okay. Throssell scoffs. I sold them for what I sold them. What does that even mean? We talking 3,000 at least? Not even close. Again, price anchoring. Not even close. A tier, right? 2,000? I'm still price anchoring. I'm prepping you for the price, okay? Come on, you know I over-deliver massively on anything that has my name on it. 2,000 would be way over-delivering. Do you not recall my $32,182 commission check that I got from one Flows client? I'm giving you the proof through my price anchoring. I'm not just saying $3,000 and $2,000 for the sake of price anchoring. I'm saying it to remind you of the proof that I made a lot of freaking money from these flows. So $3,000 would be completely acceptable for you to buy this for, okay? I'm not just making some number up. That's literally 10% of one commission check I got, okay? So that's why I'm price anchoring them. Of course, that's why I decided to sell them for $300. So now we price reveal. Make it big. We actually reveal the price. I price anchored you the whole way, so $300 should be nothing. At this point, by the time you've heard of it, you're like, yeah, no problem, right? Right? That's the idea. As soon as he fails to mutter a number bigger than three measly figures, the air kicks out of my lung and I pass out again. Right? GIF. And then I regain slight consciousness. We talk a little bit back and forth. We do it where he's like, I'm only going to sell for 24 hours, blah, blah, blah. And then I pivot a little bit into a pitch. Your last chance to buy the ultimate sales letter, blah, blah, blah. I'll never sell it again. No refunds, completely written with no videos. It's only for real copywriters. You should not buy these. Do not even think about buying. And then I just make a really fun way to highlight the link, right? You can click this and it takes you to the Thrive card to actually buy it. And I'm like, no. And then I give a note from Daniel. You have until May 16th, 11:59 to absolutely purchase these flows until they're gone forever. And I'll release your purchase. Oh, copy go. As if I'm still in prison in the parallel welcome sequence. So all that entertainment, all that fun, you could buy it up here, you could buy it down here, all things like that. And then we pivot. So Daniel gave me some feedback on how to pivot well, right? Because over here is a lot of entertainment, but you have to pivot well. If you did not buy these flows, you didn't get the exclusive feedback from Daniel, and that's okay. Sorry, you should have bought the flows. But now I do this thing where I actually pivot into more sales mode. So this is really fun, entertainment mode. Now we actually pivot into sales mode. Now let me transport you back to reality. Okay, so we've been in fictional, crazy world. Now let me transport you back to reality. And I do Daniel's little reader character. And then I go into real mode. I go into sales mode where I say, obviously I made most of this story up. What's absolutely true is how uncomfortable I am selling this product to you at this price, because what this product is, and then I start selling. Okay, so this is where I actually do real selling. I tell you about the product, what you get with the product, the benefit of the product, the proof of the product. Okay, and then I give you more proof of the product to clients that I did. So now I'm selling. Proof, 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 proof. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And then I tell you the reason why. Okay, reason why copy is this is why I'm selling it at this price at this time. And the reason why is I'm justifying the price. Do you understand why I'm very uncomfortable selling to you for a measly $300? Okay, I'm justifying the price. And then I'm giving you all the reason why I'm actually doing it at this price, because I'm a big Daniel Throssell fan. I've personally invested $3,000 of my own money to buying his products, including 20 plus issues of AIC, Adventures in Copyland. I've literally done Throssell style emails in the ecom world that's given me my entire career. So the opportunity to sell this to Adventures in Copyland with him is a dream come true. Beyond honored, not to mention that when he said I could sell something to his best customers would become my customers, I knew I had to build a package that would blow the doors off that made me incredibly nervous to build. Okay, so this is all very real. This is all true. There's no lies in here. In fact, I think that's probably one of the best ways to do a reason why is just tell the truth. The truth is, I'm a big Daniel Throssell fan. I spent a lot of money with him. I'm honored that he wanted to collaborate with me. And I knew that if I was going to be able to do something and have an opportunity to sell something to his best customers, that I wanted to sell the best thing that I could possibly sell. And I knew that that was this, the flows, right? And so I also told the truth here. I had zero intention of ever creating it. This is truly it. I don't want to sell this again. Completely true that after we did the sale, I didn't want to sell it to anyone else ever again. I didn't want to do it. Okay. I was barely comfortable doing it the first time, right? But I wanted to sell it because I wanted to steal all his customers and collaborate with him really well. And so then here's exactly what you get. Very Clayton Makepeace, just write it out. Okay. Here's exactly what's inside. No sexy bullets, just like boom, 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 boom. Here's everything you get. Okay, so here's what's inside. And while we're at it, I threw in another bonus. Okay, so I've already got you to the point where if you've read to this point, you're like, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm getting this. Absolutely true, right? All this stuff. But then I add another bonus just to make the offer even better. Okay. This was actually Daniel's idea. It was like, hey, you should throw in another thing, which of course it was Daniel's idea because he wants to make everything like juicy times 10. So I threw in my warmish client, my warmish client acquisition system light, which is basically it's a 30-minute-esque video of my client acquisition system that you could watch in 30 minutes and understand how to cold outreach to e-com clients immediately, which perfectly goes with the flows. Right? You get e-com clients, you write flows for them. You get e-com clients, you write flows for them. So they complement each other perfectly. And it's a Loom video. It's really helpful. I give you some behind the scenes. I give you some bullets behind it. And then I'm getting close to the end of the sales letter where I want to repel any of the trolls, which I knew there weren't going to be like a lot of just bad trolls or anything like that because they're Daniel's best customers. But at the end of the day, I want it to be very clear. Before you buy, this guide is completely written and not sexy. Don't get mad at me. If you're like, looks like a PDF, it is a PDF, okay? It's a PDF. There's no videos, there's no audio, there's no sexy ebook designs. It's just a simple guide that has some of the most valuable information I've ever used in my life. Okay. So if that pisses you off, don't buy it. I didn't want people to buy it and then be like, this is not beautiful. There's no videos. Sorry. Okay. I didn't even plan on making this product. And candidly, the information is good for itself. I do not offer refunds. I repeat, I do not offer refunds. Don't call me with a refund. Okay. Do not buy it. If you are not completely convinced that you want this, don't buy it. And then please do not share this content, right? To honor the value and the integrity of this product, do not share what's inside. Don't tell people about this, right? I already didn't want to sell it, so I wanted to get your pledge that you wouldn't do it. So just my 3 things here: deadline, link, sign off. Okay. And then the PS, which is Daniel's extra bonus, where he said exclusive and highly valuable 15-minute video that he recorded for me showing how to make this sales letter even better. Which, by the way, the things that I said in this video did not include the advice he gave me to make it even better, right? So that's an exclusive video that I am personally honoring to his people that did buy that and that got that exclusive video. So there's feedback that even he had on my sales letter that I did not talk about today because I want to honor the integrity of his advice and this personal kickback. So I hope this video was helpful on the sales letter. I hope you got a lot of wisdom from it. I think it's an incredibly amazing sales letter. Okay, one of my best ever. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if this was helpful. And if not, don't tell me. Don't leave a comment. I don't care. But I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And I'll catch you on the next one.